Good morning, class. As you see, I am not there today. You have a wonderful substitute to take care of you. Let's take a look at what we will be doing today. Today's schedule is as follows. You will begin with your typical daily writing journals. Your substitute will show you the quote of the day on the board, and I will expect you to complete your writing journal as you will be turning those in. She will then collect your reading journals, which, as you know, were due today. If you do not have them, you know what happens. Just bring them in next time for the point reduction. From there, you will be completing the mini book review, which I will go over more here in just a moment, followed by SSR or working on your next reading journals if you so choose. This evening you do not have any homework unless for some reason you do not complete this book review, but you should have plenty of time in class today. I just expect you to read at home and work on your reading journals as usual. Okay, let's take a look at what I'm expecting from you for this mini book review assignment. You each will get one of these Scholastic tab books, as I'm sure you have gotten these many times before. As you know, they have lots of age-appropriate books in them, young adult literature, and lots of really good suggestions. As you see, we have some classics here as well. What I would like you to do today is do a mini book review on one of these books that you pick from the magazine. It does not necessarily mean that you have read this book before. It actually may be more interesting if you have not read the book before. I want you to pick one of these books and just look at the brief description here. And what you will be doing is elaborating on this description to create more of a book review so that if a reader were to read your review, they would get more of an idea of what the book is about and whether it is a good book or not so good. And then lastly, you will be driving home the selling point, including the price and how invaluable it is to read this book. So you'll each be getting a laptop. You'll have the mobile lab in class today, as you see in the front. And once you get your laptop, you're going to pull up and do a search for the book of your choosing. I have chosen to do The Maze Runner, which means none of you should be picking this one from the magazine, okay? So keep in mind your sources. You don't want to be looking at a website like Wikipedia, because this is opinion-based and can be edited by anyone, so you're not really going to get anything good as far as a decent summary. A good idea for your book is to find the website by the author for the book. The author, of course, is going to provide a good description for your book on there. I've got that pulled up here in the next tab. So on this website, we have the books here. And of course, as those of you who have read The Maze Runner know, it is a series and there are 3 total. We're just going to look at the first one, which is titled Maze Runner. So as you can see, there is a description here of what the book is about, and there's even an excerpt down here so that if you want to, you can get an idea of what maybe the first chapter is about, and maybe even include a little brief quote in your synopsis. Now, not all of your sources are going to have an excerpt like this, but this is a good example of what you may find. So if we pull up and dig into this website a little more, we'll see, of course, the chapter example. And we've got a picture here too. For your book review, I want you to include a picture, whether it is of the front cover or of a scene in the book. Some of your books may have been turned into movies, so if you do find one that's based off of the movie, it's okay, but I would prefer if you stick to possibly the book cover, because that's going to be more applicable to a book review. Okay, so let's take a look at the example book review that I did for The Maze Runner. I, of course, want you to have your name at the top, then the book title and the author of the book, and then come up with a nice title for your review. You don't want to just say The Maze Runner. So how about for ours, we'll do Running for Your Life. How's that sound? Much more interesting than just using the book title. So in your first paragraph, I want you to come up with a good summary of what the book is about. And let's go back and look online again here real quick. You may not find enough information here in this summary on the book website. So if you go back to your search, look through and see if you can find some other good sources to look at. One good source that I like for your second paragraph, which is more opinion-based, is Goodreads. On here, people can discuss and post about whether they liked or disliked the book, which will give you a good idea of how to promote this book since you likely have not read it before. So as you can see, there are some good ratings here. So look over those possibly, and they may give you a good idea of what to write for your second paragraph. Here in your second paragraph, I would like you to promote your book. Even if you don't think you would like it, you want to make the reader feel like this is a viable book. So write about how fabulous it is and how this book might apply to the reader's life and why they may like it. After that, I want you to include your picture. And last but not least, you need to include the catching statement that really sells the book. So as you can see here, I've said that the book sells for only $9. That makes the price sound a little better. So you really want that last little sentence or two to drive home why this book is such a viable and great book. And who knows, maybe through doing this project you'll want to read the book yourself. That's what I'm hoping. Once you have completed this, I want you to print it out and put it in your classwork section of your notebook. And next class, we will cut them out and hang them up in the classroom so everybody can see each other's book reviews. And that way everybody will get good suggestions of books to read next. Let's go back and look at our schedule one more time. Once you have completed that book review, you'll spend the rest of class just doing SSR or working on your next reading journals until class is over. And again, I remind you, please be respectful and give your best attention to the substitute today, because I will hear of everything that you did if you didn't. You all have a wonderful afternoon.